Hi, this is my new CM900 machine and I've literally just welded this 60 shape in ScanNCut canvas and added some dashed draw lines and cut it. And I'm not sure whether you're going to be able to see this or not, but the dashed draw line that I put in canvas is disappearing on the top, and then on the bottom it's further in, and it's the same on the matting layer. Now I designed this in canvas. I'm pretty certain that when I applied the dash lines to both of these shapes, I centered them vertically and horizontally, so they should sit the same distance all the way around each piece. So I'm going to go into the ScanNCut settings and see if I can align the blade. Now I've not done this before, never had to do it on my CM600, but I know there is a setting in here that it can be done with. So I'm going to go to the wrench icon and I'm going to scroll down until I find in here the thing I'm looking for. And I think it's this on page 4, scanning stroke cutting position adjustment. So I'm going to hit the wrench icon and then it's telling me that the mat will move to its initial position. So it's saying now install the blade holder, which I've already got in, and a mat with a sheet of white paper attached into this machine, and after the machine is set up, press the stop button. So I'd already actually just read this and I've put a piece of, it's actually very lightweight card, maybe a slightly thicker paper. So I'm just going to take my blade down because I'm not actually sure how well this is going to cut, and I'm not sure what it's actually going to do. So I'm going to load the mat into the machine, and then it's telling me once I've loaded the mat and the blade, I've got to press the stop button. Okay, so I'm not entirely sure what I've got to do, but on the screen it's showing me a vertical line and a horizontal line and a dashed, or some kind of a, might be a diamond, it's so small, in red with a circle around it. So I'm assuming that what it's done, it's drawn a vertical line and 2 horizontal lines here at the left and right of this card. Let's see what happens. So it's telling me I'm on the left and the blade's over here. So let's see what it is. I've got to move this mark down to the centre. Okay, right. I've never done this before, as I say, so you're learning along with me. And I'm not even sure if you're going to be able to see this. I'll try and get it nearer. But this is the vertical and horizontal line. It's cut on the left-hand edge of the paper, which you just can't see, and I can barely see it on the paper. And this looks like a red diamond. And by the look of it, I've got to move these arrows until I get the bullseye, if you like, that diamond in the middle of that circle, in the middle of that horizontal line. So I think that's probably about it. I don't know if you can see this, so I'll try and zoom in so you can see. So I'm going to say next, and now it's asking me to do the same with the mark it made on the right. So this one needs adjusting probably one step to the left and needs to come down maybe one. I'll try two. Okay, so on this one, I'm not sure whether you can see without me sticking my head in the camera, but I've moved it now, and I think if I take it up one, I don't think it's quite in the right position, so I think I've got it in the middle. So I'm going to say OK, and it says the setting was saved, so I'm going to say OK. I'll say OK there. Okay, right, so I'm going to unload this mat and I'm going to try and cut and draw this again and see what happens. Right, so I've loaded up the mat with a piece of pink card and a piece of pink paper like I did before. I'm going to do a background scan because I want to position the two shapes on the right places. And I'm going to draw it and cut it again and see if it's any different from this one that I've just shown you. So I'm going to position that one over onto that piece of pattern paper and that one on there. And I'm going to say OK and draw. Okay, so that's finished drawing. I'm going to say OK. I'm going to take the pen out and I'm going to put the blade in. And say cut. And go. Okay, that's finished. Now before I unload the mat, I'm just going to lift up the edge of the card and see if this has cut through, and it hasn't, because as I said, this is the first thing I've cut with this machine, so I'm still getting used to the blade setting. So I'm going to take the blade up, just double check it's not cut through, and I'm going to say OK and cut again. Hopefully it'll be right this time. Yeah, it is. These two pieces of card are actually slightly different weights. This is Stampin' Up! Designer Series paper, which is thinner than this piece of card I'm using. But I can see by just holding my finger on the design that that's cut. So if that's cut, I know that will have cut. So I'm just going to say unload and take these off and see if it's any better. Going to look at it compared to this one. It is definitely a lot better. It probably could still be adjusted ever so slightly, so I'm going to go back to canvas and check that I did align them centrally and vertically, and if I did, I might just go back into the settings on the machine and just tinker with that diamond again on that. But I'm not sure how well you're going to see, but if you look at the dashed line on the pink flower paper at the bottom there, and then look at it on that one, this one is definitely aligned better. Okay, so I just want to show you what I've done. Don't know if you can see, I'm going to put them here. That was the very first one I showed you that I'd already cut. That's the first thing I'd ever cut on the machine. That was the one I've just done in the video. And then what I did, I went back into the settings, I went back up to page 4 on the machine, and I went back into this scanning cutting position adjustment, and I hit reset, which effectively put the machine back to how it was when I cut this first one. And then I went and did the alignment process again. So that was the alignment process I did in the video, and I just cut it off the top of this piece of paper, put that back on and lined it up again, and did that process with the arrows moving that red diamond into the vertical and horizontal position. So try and pick them up. So that was the very first one I did, and I don't know if you can see, but the dash lines are off. That was the one I did in the video where they'd gotten a little bit better. And then this is the third one. Now they're still not absolutely perfect, but I've been back into Canvas and had a look, and I have positioned them centrally and vertically, the dash lines to the outside edge on each of the two pieces, the pattern paper and the pink. So it might just be this design because it's a funny kind of bubble shape, and it's a very, very, very fine inset that I put on it. I did a 0.04, which is the smallest you can do, inset on the pattern paper and then on this outer dark pink card. So what I've just done as another test is I've just stamped, just found an old stamp that I had, and I've just stamped this cat twice on this piece of paper, but I've smudged it really worse on this one than on this one. So I've just put it on my old grubby mat and scanned it into the machine. It didn't pick this one up properly, but it's probably because it's got broken lines in it on the bottom here, and it's smudged. I don't know how well it's coming over on the camera, but this one it picked up. And basically what I did a direct, I'll go back to the home page. I went to scan and I did a direct cut, and I didn't choose to do any outside offset line or anything. I just asked it purely and simply to cut on what it saw, the black outline. And I don't know how close I can get for you to see this, but look how fine this line is here that it's cut on either end. I mean, and it's perfect, more or less, I think. It's on the black line all the way around. So if you find that your machine isn't cutting out properly on your stamped images, or if you're cutting decoupage, or in my case, you know, my dashed and cut lines that I wanted to do, just go into that setting on page 4 and have a play with that red diamond and circle like bullseye. And obviously the results you get are determined by how accurate you line that up. So I just wanted to come back and show you that I got a decent result in the end. I just basically want to add this to this card, and I made this a few weeks ago, and this is an up and coming video. So I hope you found that helpful. Please give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you don't already do so. Make sure the bell notification is turned on within YouTube, so that you get notified when I upload all my videos, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.